Welcome to Season 2 of Skillcast, the podcast by the London Organisational Skills Development. My name is Nurbanu, and I am your host. I'm thrilled to have you join me on this journey of growth and discovery. Each episode, we're sitting down with incredible guests, think experts, pros, and inspiring go-getters who'll share the stories and skills that fuel this success. Whether you're here to sharpen your own skills, get inspired, or just enjoy some awesome conversations, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Welcome to Skillcast.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Well, my name is Karissa Adkins. I'm the CEO and founder of Alpha Queen Collective. I am also the creator of Alpha Queen Method and the leader of the Alpha Queen movement.
Wow. So whenever I think alpha, I always think male. I love that. Like
yes.
female boss. Tell me more. How did you get started?
Totally. Yes, you're absolutely correct in 50% of that. So alpha is definitely more masculine energetics, obviously, but and I've always grown up being more of the alpha, right? I've always been spoken, like I've always stood out in the crowd. But to me, masculine and the alpha energy is the doing mode of everything. It's the getting stuff done. And I work with a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs, and they're either typically one side of alpha or one side of queen. And I'll get to queen here in a minute. But yeah, alpha is masculine, but it's not necessarily tied to men. I'm actually meeting a lot of men these days that are more queen energy. Mm-hmm. So yeah, alpha is the getting stuff done. It's the doing mode of living. And queen is the feminine power. And I'll be honest, I prided myself on the alpha mentality for so long. I was the hustler and the grinder, right? And I was like, I thought that was the way to the top, and success required this like masculine energy. And I realized like that was only going to get me so far, because too much alpha will lead to burnout. And about a year ago in my company, we rebranded, and I really stepped into my power when I totally started embodying the feminine energy, that the queen side of Alpha Queen, collective. But the queen is that feminine, it's the being mode. And a lot of entrepreneurs, they're either the alpha or the queen. I help them find the balance between the both, because too much alpha leads to burnout. Too much queen leads to wishing, hoping, and praying for things to get done. And I don't think that that's how we grow, scale, and create success for ourselves.
So it's the sweet spot that you're looking for, right?
Yes.
So
yes.
Could you tell me a little bit more about like what happens in that sweet spot?
Anything. That's the beautiful part. When you find the balance, it's like sensei energy. You're in flow is what I think. Mm-hmm. Because yes, we need to get stuff done. Obviously, procrastination and the lack of being able to make decisions, like all of that will keep people stuck. So we need to be able to be in action, right? And then the queen is that wishing, hoping, and praying for things to get better. And I'm like, you can have excuses or you can have results, but you're going to have to find that sweet spot. So when we help women find that balance, it really comes down to like the most simplest strategy ever. It's like schedule in the alpha activities and schedule in the feminine activities. And when you find that balance, you're in alignment. And when I think of alignment, I think of being a magnet for success. I mean, my clients come to me. I don't have to go trolling social media so much to go out and find leads. I'm just truly like a magnet for all success. It's beautiful. And in all areas of life, not just business, but like my relationships, my relationship with my husband, my daughter, my friends, my business, money, everything. Once you're connected, it's all magic. It's all magic from there. It's finding the sweet spot. That's one of the things that we teach our clients how to do.
Amazing. So what's your background story? How did this all fall into place? I want to know how you got started.
Oh gosh, poverty. I didn't grow up having hardly anything. In fact, when I was 15 years old, I got pregnant with my son, and I was pretty much told that, school was not a thing for me. I was not smart enough. Just quit high school. Just go be a mom. Go live on the state. And in the U.S., they give you a lot of state aid, if you're a single mom. And so if you would have looked at my life 23 years ago, I was a statistic, single mom, beaten, raped, abused, all the awesome things, right, of that statistic. And there was a point in my life where I was like, I'm meant for more. So I've been through the trenches, and I've come out on top, I feel, and I'm very blessed. And to get into more of the story is, I relate to a lot of women because, yes, I have children. Yes, I'm a military spouse. Yes, I'm an entrepreneur. Yes, I'm a high school dropout. Yes, I don't have a college education. But I think that makes me real. And that's the connection that so many women, I feel, don't have, is they're so afraid of what their history looks like. They're afraid of what people will think of them. And I'm like, yo, this is who I am. Love me or hate me, but either way, you'll probably talk about me, and that's a-okay. Like, I'm cool with it. I don't need to be liked by everyone. But yeah, my story is, from rags to riches. In 2019, I was broke and homeless and sharing a room with my daughter in my best friend's basement, trying to figure out this thing called entrepreneurship. And there was a moment in my life where I was like, I should just go back to corporate because that's the easy thing to do. And I was almost like a smidge like ready to give it all in, right? It's easy to listen to everyone else like, oh, just go back to what you're good at. Go back, go back, go back. But I knew I was meant for more. And I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. Like, I've only gotten better as I'm getting older. And I'm like, no, I'm here. I'm here to lead a movement of women. And 2 years later, I'm hitting my first six figures. 3 years later, I'm hitting multi six figures. And 4 years later, 7-figure entrepreneur, and from nothing, right? Like from nothing. That's pretty good.
Wow. What was your turning point? Like, how do you keep that mindset, like a positive mindset? Like, you got this, I got this, kind of canceling out all the noise, because there's noise everywhere. And like you said, people were putting you down, saying, just go back to the corporate world. But you kind of stood there. You kind of stood in front of them and said, no.
Right.
No, I've got a different path. I know what my purpose is. I've got something going on. What was it what was your driver?
I think it's my why, like, it's important for me to show women that they can do it too. Like, I have a daughter, I have a son, but like, it's really important for me to show my daughter that anything is possible with hard work. Anything is possible if you have a dream, and don't let anybody else tell you that you're not going to be able to do something. Like, I just won't stand for it. The biggest turning point, I think, for me, though, in my professional career was in 2022. I went on this spiritual journey and I found myself. Because like you said, right, it's the mindset. And so many entrepreneurs, a year in business and they're done. They just don't have what it takes. It's that grit and that determination. And determination's all in the mind. So I feel like determination is probably my biggest key to success. And if I broke down determination, it would come down to three major components. Self-belief. You have to believe in yourself, because everyone else is going to project their fears onto you. And trust me, every situation I've ever been on, they're like, oh, don't get a divorce. That's not the Christian way. Don't do this. That's not the way. Like, they try and just point you in the direction that they feel comfortable in. And I'm like, I feel that there's another way. So I've had to create a belief system that is unshakable. And that's what will require when you're an entrepreneur. Like, really, you have to be able to believe in yourself. The second key and component to a mindset that's just literally unstoppable is self-trust. I mean, looking back at my past, the trauma, the drama, like, there's nothing that can hold me back. And when I look back at my timeline, I'm like, wow, I've made some really crappy decisions, but I've also made some really, really good decisions. And therefore I can trust myself because I'm only getting better, right? I'm like, oh, I'm like a fine wine. I'm aging very, very nicely. But yeah, the trust in the universe, trust in the higher power, trust that your vision and your mission and your purpose is going to unfold. Trust in all timing, because we can't control when things happen. We have to trust that they'll happen in the right time. And then the third component is, it's self-talk. And I'll be perfectly honest, the world is talking so much crap to themselves. I'm not enough. I'm not beautiful enough. I'm not smart enough. Like, I just can't do it. Do I have what it takes? I'm too old. I'm too young. Like, all that crap. Well, I have flipped the script, right? The narrative inside my brain is, you've got this. You can do anything. If you can go through that, you can go through this. And I've just become the world's most powerful cheerleader for myself because I can't rely on anyone to champion for me, right? I have to be able to champion for myself. And that honestly creates motivation, because when you believe in yourself, when you can talk to yourself in such a positive way, when you can trust in the decisions that you're making, I become unstoppable. Like, I don't need anyone that says, hey, Karissa, why don't you get up today and go to the gym? Or why don't you, make the sales calls? Or why don't you go out on stage and speak? It doesn't matter what it is. I have this motivation that never runs out. And most people, it's the motivation that runs out because they're relying on everybody else to help them get there. And I'm like, no. Once that system is built within here and here, you're unstoppable.
That's so, I love that. I absolutely love that. So I'm actually on this particular journey myself. Okay. So I'm actually quite severely dyslexic. So yeah. I'm coming from a quite South Asian background. School was always an absolute challenge.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard earlier, actually, I'm actually doing my PhD at the moment.
Yes, that's amazing, girl.
So my PhD was actually, it's only supposed to be 3 years. I'm on year 5. It's as embarrassing as it is. I'm still saying I've got this. It really is the reading, the writing, and I'm just like, I'm 30. I still struggle with it.
Yeah, 100%.
But the thing that I found is my voice, my creativity. And that's another reason why I don't think I could work for anyone. I can only work for myself. And that's the reason why I got into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
So why I joined the business itself, because I knew, like, I can't do admin. I can't do all of these stuff.
It's not that you can't.
I can. I
But
can do it, but I'm better at something else.
Oh, yes.
So even with the business, I lead the strategy behind the business, the creativity. I lead all of that stuff. And that's what I'm good at. So whenever I get tasks to do about, like, can you do the accounts? Oh, can you do this admin stuff? I'm like, don't ask me. I can't do that. I can do the talking. I can do the pitching. I can do the discovery calls. Leave that to me. I got this.
Yeah.
So you find what your true strength is. But again, like you said, it's about the talk, how you speak to yourself, and the motivation to kind of just go ahead and do stuff.
Right.
So I'm actually, I want to say the most positive way possible. I'm a little bit on the laid back, more relaxed side, especially when it comes to my health.
Yeah.
So in the past, I used to have chronic back pain, and it was only through the exercise that I managed to gain my ability to get strong.
Amazing.
Again. So it was through the exercise, and I realized that if I don't exercise, if I don't do this, I'm going to go back the opposite way that I need to be going. So the motivation, how do I motivate myself to keep going to the gym? How do I keep a consistent habit? So motivation, super powerful.
That comes down to the why. I was 213 pounds, stressed, obese, drinking my life away in Germany when I was stationed there over 15 years ago. Like, I know what it's like to be unhealthy. And I also know what it's like to die. Like, I've watched my mom die from obesity and cancer. And when I saw her and witnessed her go through that, I was like, yo, I'm on the same path. Like, I'm literally going to be in her shoes in 10 years if I don't change my lifestyle and my habits. So of course I was like, I'm able to do this. Like, that's a choice. Like, I get to focus on me, and I get to be selfish with my self-care, and I love it. And that's another, I speak a lot on quantum leadership and quantum jumping and rapid success, because again, 2019 broke nothing, right? To 7-figure entrepreneur with a team. And that's a global movement. Most entrepreneurs can't do that in 4 years. And most women are not going to lose 100 pounds in a year and keep it off for over 15. So I've learned the secret codes, if you will, to break it. And one of those codes is taking care of your health, because without your health, you have nothing. I mean, think speaking, coaching, writing, all the things that we want to do as entrepreneurs, they all require energy and confidence. And those are currency in my business. I mean, my health is my wealth. Like, really, I sell everything that I turn everything, from crap into gold. And it's because I have confidence in myself. And that scares a lot of people when they meet me. That's for sure. They're like, oof, too much. And I'm like, okay.
And I love that. You set the bar really high, and you really value yourself. You give value to it. And you realize that. I had a really nice conversation.
Yeah.
I'd love to have more of a chat with you offline as well. But just for our viewers, how can they reach out to you if they want to learn more about what you do and they resonate with you? Because I think quantum jumping is quite an interesting topic, and how you did it in 4 years is pure magic. And I think
there's 10 codes.
Oh my God.
10 actual codes.
10 actual codes. Okay. Perhaps in a future podcast, I'd love to go through those 10 codes 100%. With you for sure. But in the meantime, if our viewers want to reach out to you, how can they do so?
Yeah, the best way is to just, our biggest community that we serve is on Facebook, honestly. So Alpha Queen Collective, specifically a group called Alpha Queens Rising. That's where we take every woman who's looking to have it all, because we believe in a world where women can have it all. It's our birthright: health, body, business, success, money, love, relationships. We get to have it all. It's our birthright. So we teach there, we coach in there, and it's completely free. So this kind of eliminates all the excuses of I don't have the time and the money to invest in coaching. We're giving you all of that. You just have to come. So Alpha Queens Rising Facebook community, just search it. You guys, this is 2024. Like, you know where to find me. Just Google Karissa Adkins and you'll see.
Perfect. We'll keep all the information in the description of this video as well. Thank you again, Karissa.
Yes,
It was lovely chat with you.
Yeah.